Have you ever looked at your bank account after a completely normal month and wondered where all your money went? You didn't buy anything crazy, no major purchases, just regular stuff, groceries, a few meals out, maybe a new phone because your old one was getting slow. And yet, somehow, you're sitting there thinking you should have way more money than you do. The reality is that most people are essentially financial sleepwalkers, stumbling through life and wondering why they never have anything left over at the end of the month. My name is Nick, and I help people understand the real mechanics behind money. Not what the marketing departments want you to believe, but how wealth actually works. Today, we're going to talk about the one spending habit that changes everything. It's not a secret investment strategy or a complicated budget. It's a psychological shift that moves you from financial survival to actual freedom. If you're tired of feeling like your money disappears as fast as you earn it, make sure to hit that subscribe button. The moment your paycheck hits your bank account, you have exactly 15 seconds before your brain starts making terrible financial decisions. Your brain starts calculating how much you can blow on a new gadget, or whether you can finally afford those shoes sitting in your online cart. Most people treat their paycheck like a surprise birthday gift, instead of the powerful wealth-building tool it actually is. They pay their bills, buy what they want, and try to save whatever is left over. But as the math shows us, there is never anything left over. Let's look at the numbers, because the math is absolutely brutal. The median individual income in America is roughly $52,000 before taxes, which translates to a take-home pay of around $35,000 to $40,000. Meanwhile, the average household is spending roughly $5,577 per month, or $67,000 a year. If you are the average person, you aren't just tight on cash, you are mathematically drowning. You are working 40 to 60 hours a week just to transfer your paycheck to someone else. The trap begins with what I call status spending. We've been convinced that we need a $200 designer t-shirt to look successful, even though it's the same cotton from the same factory as a $10 generic version. We buy things not because we need them, but because we think it makes us look successful to neighbors and random strangers who don't even care about us. It's a poverty tax driven by insecurity, and it's the fastest way to stay broke while looking rich. Then there is the car payment trap. The average new car payment has crossed $700, and for trucks, it's often over $900 or even $1,200. People are signing 8-year loans for vehicles that cost more than the median household income. You are trading hundreds of thousands of dollars in future wealth for a new car smell and a heated seat. It's not an investment. It's wealth destruction with cup holders. Even the small stuff has gone insane. Fast food isn't cheap anymore. You're now paying $15 to $20 for a meal at a counter, eating out of a paper bag in your car. That's the same price a decent sit-down meal cost just a few years ago. When you add in the 6 or 7 streaming services you barely watch, you're looking at thousands of dollars every year, just disappearing into thin air. It's a death by 1,000 cuts for your bank account. The spending habit that changes everything is moving from reactive spending to intentionality through the lens of opportunity cost. Most people spend based on whether they have enough in the account to cover the transaction today. Wealthy people spend based on what that money could become in 20 years. They realize that a $500 monthly car payment, invested in a simple index fund earning 7%, becomes $100,000 in less than 8 years. When you adopt this habit, you reach the first real game changer, $10,000 in savings. Most people think this is just an arbitrary number, but there is actual psychology behind it. Reaching $10,000 doesn't just change your balance. It changes your relationship with risk. A check engine light stops being a 3 a.m. panic attack and becomes a mild annoyance. You gain the mental bandwidth to focus on growth instead of just basic survival. The shift becomes even more powerful at $20,000. This is the threshold where your financial boulder finally crests the hill. Everything before this point feels like you're pushing against gravity. Everything after feels like gravity is working for you. At $20,000, your brain moves out of survival mode. You stop asking, "How do I survive until next Friday?" and start asking, "How can I grow this money?" This habit creates what I call walking away money. When you are living paycheck to paycheck with $9,000 in credit card debt, you are a captive audience. You stay in jobs you hate and tolerate toxic bosses because you can't afford a single week without pay. But when the debt is gone and the cash is in the bank, you negotiate from a position of strength. You carry yourself differently in the world because you aren't desperate. The system, the banks, the dealers, the real estate agents, is designed to prevent you from ever reaching this point. They want you to stretch for a $500,000 house that eats 46% of your take-home pay. They want you to roll negative equity into a new car loan every 3 years. They profit from your lack of margin because a person with no breathing room is a customer for life. To break the cycle, you have to automate your life. Because willpower is a muscle that gets tired, you need to move your money before your brain has a chance to dream up new ways to spend it. Redirect your raises into your investments before you ever see the cash. Buy used cars, cook at home, and keep your phone until it actually breaks. Stop trying to look rich on social media and start actually building wealth in the background. The transformation that happens isn't just about the money, it's about identity shift. You stop being a consumer whose value is defined by the brand of their handbag, and you become a wealth builder whose value is defined by their options. You realize that you can either look wealthy or be wealthy, but for most people, you can't do both. Real wealth is freedom, not equity you can't access because you're trapped by your lifestyle. Choose to stop playing the game of normal. The person you become while developing the discipline to save that first $10,000 or $20,000 is infinitely more valuable than the money itself. Build the foundation, find the breathing room, and finally, start owning your life instead of just renting it from a bank. I'll see you in the next one.